But I wanted to invite Darcy to come. Now, some of you may not even have ever met Darcy before. Darcy's been a great part of our church for years. He's one of these behind-the-scenes type guys. If you've ever sat in a chair on Sunday morning, it's a blessing of his effort, all right? Because Darcy oversees the setup. Every week, this sanctuary gets torn down. Did you know that? Because every Monday night, the teenagers meet in here, so all the chairs are pushed to the sides, and someone's got to come in and reset them up. Darcy leads that team of of a crew of different guys. He doesn't do it every week, but he leads the team of people that come in. So just a great part of our church. But Darcy also is really taken some steps of faith since coming here to Pathway. And I wanted to just to take a moment just to interview him. Why don't you step on over here, because the light's a lot better right here, and I want people to see you. See how handsome you are. Okay, so tell me just a little bit about your faith. How did you come to faith and come to know Christ?
Well, I didn't grow up in church when I was a kid. So I really didn't. I pretty much just went on Easter and.
Okay.
So I didn't really know. Okay. Yeah, it's just a seaman, but.
Yeah.
But I had it all. I mean, I had a boat, had a motorcycle, I was living for man, and I got married and had a child, and I really didn't know there was something missing in my life, and I didn't know what.
Okay.
And we started going to church, and then I knew it was Christ.
Okay.
But back in '06, I got baptized right back here in the dunk tank, or the
yeah, I like that. Yeah. The baptismal tank?
Yeah.
But I like dunk tank better.
Dunk tank.
We get a target and throw a ball.
But, yeah, back in '06,
like
I got baptized.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. And so when you came into Pathway, you were still young in faith. I mean, you were still young in your relationship with the Lord. All of us are still growing in the Lord. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are. But it was the whole, like, Christianity, having a personal relationship with Christ was new to you when you came into Pathway.
Oh, yeah. It was, and I didn't know. I thought, we joined a life group, and I thought it was just going to be a place where we just ate. And,
yeah, just had life.
Not that I could eat or anything, but...
Okay. So you came to Pathway, and you got plugged into a life group. Now talk to me how that life group ministered to you.
Oh, it was great. It was just seeing the other people that have grown in faith bigger than me, and it inspired you to know where you could go. And and through all those relationships that I built, it helped me get through some things that I went through later on. I went through a divorce, and without some of those guys like Jay Burt and Guy Ellis and Arlen, I didn't see him, but those guys, they really they took on part of my burden.
So you came to Pathway, you got plugged into a life group, and one of the things you said was there are other believers that were farther along in their walk, and that really encouraged your faith, encouraged your walk. And then none of us ever wish or want a divorce, but that happened. Right. And instead of running from God, you had built some relationships with some of the guys through life groups and some things that helped you to run to God.
Right.
And these guys came alongside and helped you through that horrible time. Right.
And I just got a scripture just a while ago, Matthew 13, the parable of the sower.
Yeah.
And I've just planted my seed in good soil, and that's what this church is. It's good soil, and that's what a life group is. It's good soil. I mean, you've got to plant your faith in good soil.
That's awesome. I didn't tell him to say that. I didn't. That's all his testimony.
Yeah. If not, something's going to happen, and your faith is not going to last. So that's just something that I just come up with.
That's good stuff. God gave you that.
Yeah.
That is good stuff. Now, I'm just curious. Before you started a life group, because some people out here might be thinking, life group, schmipe group. I mean, whatever. Yeah, do I really? I'm just not a life group person, and blah 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 blah. What was it that the life group in a specific way really ministered to you? What kept you going? What was it that got you into it and caused you to want to stay in it? Because you're still in a life group.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy. I'm in Jeremy's.
The Dryers group?
Yeah. Actually, I just made it to one session, so
All
I'm kind
right,
of feeling
all right.
guilty. But even if you don't know anybody, I mean, that's all the more reason to join one.
Okay.
If you don't know anybody in church, I mean, it's hard because you might see somebody every week, but you
That's
don't know
awesome.
their story, and that's
Yeah.
the only way you're gonna know their story. I mean, all the leaders are awesome. I mean, I can't.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know them all, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they're awesome. So just even if you don't know anybody, that's
Yeah.
all the more reason to sign up. I
Okay.
mean, that's
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You know, I think Darcy hit on something that I want to say right before he sits down. Did you notice he said other people in the groups seeing their faith and where they're farther along in their walk, how much that ministered to him and how that helped challenge his walk. Because some of us here, you've been saved for a long time. You've known Jesus, and sometimes you might just start thinking, I'm not so sure a life group's for me. I'm not sure I need. You might hear yourself say, I'm not sure I need a life group. I'm not sure I need it. Well, the fact of the matter is, you know, where your faith is, you may be able to nourish yourself, but the fact of the matter is there are other people that need you. They need you in that life group. You see, church isn't just about what can this church do for me, how can this touch me. It's about how can God use me to touch others through this church. You see what I'm saying? And I love what he said. This guy right here is a trophy of God's grace and just what God's done in his life. And the way that even now he's continued to parent his sons and all that kind of stuff. Again, he's not perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. But you're heading the right way. And that's to become more like Jesus. And I love it. Good stuff. Thanks, Darcy. All right.